We have this guy here, which is the next product we're going to talk about. This is the 16 gauge, that's what it is, 16 gauge rigid pneumatic finish nailer. And it has their what they call clean drive system on it. It's got a super easy to open front area to do clean outs and whatnot. And I haven't had to use it more than twice in 3 years, honestly. So that's pretty good. And I've done a bit of trim work and nailing with this thing. I don't know, I can't tell you what the count is on nailing, but it's worked really well. I really like the trigger on it. It's super short, but not so short that you miss it, and it stays out of the way of my other hands. So I really like that. It does have multi nail setting where you can hold the trigger and just hit the wall, or I don't even know what that's called. If you guys know what it's called, you can tell me, because I don't remember what, multi-hammer or something like that. And then it's also got single where, you have to pull the trigger for every hit. So that's good. It's got your depth gauge setting here. So you can set how far the hammer goes into the material and how far you strike the head in. This is really good if you're swapping between like something where you're nailing to a softwood like pine, and then you're going to like trim work that's a hardwood like oak or ash or whatever, maple. You would want to change that so that you set those heads and don't have to go back and drive them with an awl. It does come with multiple tip ends for different settings so that you can avoid damage as much as possible. That's something that I've never really fully gotten the hang of. I don't ever really change them. I just use the same one. I probably should play with some of the others, but I really haven't. It is air, so keep that in mind. This is not the cordless. This is the pneumatic. And it takes it'll hold about 1.5, maybe 2. It might be that it holds 2. I can't remember. Let me see if I can separate these. But it takes about 2 sleeves of nails when you put them in. So, you get a number of shots out of it. It does have this unique feature on top. So the air blow off, you can change it. So there it's pointing backwards now. You can change it at maybe 15-degree increments to turn it and blow it in different directions so that the air isn't like blowing dust in your face or whatnot, which is nice. And then the other feature on it that I've noticed is that it's got this spinnable clip. So it's just a hook. It doesn't have any kind of like tensioner in there when it's thick. So I'm sure it's designed, to go on like your bag or your belt, but it will hang on to your pant pocket. Okay. Cause I do that sometimes. I'm not doing like major work here in the house with it. So I haven't ever tried it on my belt because I don't wear a belt for a lot of the projects that I'm doing. Cause I'm up and down and designing a lot of stuff. We're doing some like mid-century design stuff in this house. But that is very handy. You can switch it from left to right side. You can put it at different angles on here. It's smooth enough to turn easily, but it also stays at weird angles if you want it to hang and swing a specific direction so that it's not like hitting you or bouncing off of you when you're walking and everything. It's not hard to load it. Of course, your sleeves go in here. I don't know if I can get these to come out with this on this model. Yeah, I can. Okay. So, bear with me 1 second. I'm pulling the nails out. This is a pass-by design. So I dropped those. Dang it. Like, hey man, what's going on? So you can push your nails in and then just pull it back behind it, and it catches the nails, which is, pretty modern and common these days. But just to give you an idea, you don't have to lock it back and feed them in. You can just push them in and then pull the hammer back behind them, and they stay. And that's it. It's like I said, this is just the 16. So this is going to be like a finish nailer. I use it a lot. I use it on my trim. I use it on my door jambs for certain things, like when we had to adjust the striker plate. The striker, I forgot what that's called, but the long strip that goes just inside where the door closes, we had to adjust it in because the wall was all screwed up, and this took care of it, and it's holding solid. So yeah, for the price. I looked at some other ones. It's really good. I'm not saying there aren't better ones out there. Once again, it is a rigid, so only expect so much of it, but it's actually been pretty robust. It's built really well. It does have like this whole piece here is plastic. This whole carriage system is plastic for the most part. It's not steel. So if you want something that's steel, this is not the one for you. So this is the R250 SFF straight finish nailer. Min pressure 70, max pressure 120, 4.8 bar or 8.3 bar if you're going by bars. Minimal nail length is 1 1/4, maximum is 2.5. And then the fastener gauge is of course 16. So just, like I said, this part of the body, where the hammer is and the compressor side of it, the cylinder for the actual pneumatic side is all metal. It looks cast, so it's not milled or anything like that, which most aren't. But is it good casting? I wouldn't say it's awesome casting, but it doesn't look bad by any means. They finished it pretty well, and the texture of the casting and the texture of the plastic look very similar. They did a good job of designing it so it looks consistent at least. And it's not terribly heavy. I don't remember what the weight is on it, but it's pretty light. So getting it overhead and things like that. Now, I have used some of the cordless finish nailers, and they're not bad. Even the Ryobi one is not bad because I did use that one for a little bit too to test it out. What I will say is that most of the cordless finish nailers, you don't have to have the hose, of course, which is really nice. The problem with them is that I found in tight spaces, because they're electric with the battery, the head is bigger and it can be hard to get them into certain places. So I don't think they're a bad option. I just know that in certain cases, the narrow face and the narrow head of the pneumatic seems to work better. And since I only have one to do this remodel project with, I just chose to go with this one. I want to say it's like $89 or something, or $100 or something. Wasn't terribly expensive, and I've been happy with it so far. So that's that. Now,